What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Shop Talk, episode number 11, I think we're on right now. We're joined tonight by Tanner Marr from Five Kings Motorsports, and Chris is filling in for Terry. So, how's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Well, I don't have any taffy.
Yeah, you definitely need your taffy if you're going to fill in for him, and you got to eat it the whole time.
Lord. So, yeah. Hey, Tanner Marr.
Hey,
Cool to
hey,
see you,
how y'all
man.
doing? Yes, sir, you too. And happy to be here. Thank y'all for inviting me, Corey and Amanda and Aaron, and we'll say Chris and Terry tonight. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's good to have you, because you're a rookie in the league this year, right?
Well, I ran like half a season last season, but yeah, pretty much a rookie. I still got the rookie stripes.
Nice. What's up, John Perkins? So we'd like to start off. We'll get into the racing a little bit, but we'd like to start off. Why don't you tell everybody how you got into iRacing and how you started Five Kings Motorsports?
Well, we got into iRacing. I mean, I'm sure I'm just like all y'all. I was a fan of NASCAR growing up. My dad actually raced at a local short track. He ran in just a pure stock division. Then he moved up to like a sportsman division and so on. And so went local racing all my life, around it all my life, like NASCAR. And then right whenever the pandemic started, you started hearing about iRacing. It was on TV. I mean, it was basically everywhere you looked, you know. So we got on there, and I mean, like all of us here, you know, I got addicted to it really, really bad, really, really fast, you know. And I ran officials for like 3 to 4 months, and then that's when I discovered league racing. And man, that's when the whole animal of iRacing really, really started, when we started league racing. And then just kind of fast forward a little bit, Five Kings came about. It was 5 of us that we met in Crooked Line Racing. That's like the main league we admin for until I got me and Joshua Sexton. And we met, we were just buddies, and you know, we started a group chat where we sat there and just bull crap along, you know, just shoot the shit with each other. And before you knew it, we became like really good friends, you know. And so one day I was like, hey, let's just put a name on it. We'll have Michael Falco or MF Racing Designs build us a logo, and then before you know it, I mean, we're a team. And we was like, well, what name do we have? And for some reason I was like, well, there's 5 of us, we'll just be Five Kings Motorsports. And it stuck, and now we're almost at 1,000 followers on Facebook, and
Damn.
it's almost 2,000 across like the whole social media web, I guess, like Instagram, Twitter, and stuff like that. But we mainly focus on Facebook. So I mean, it started from nothing. It still is nothing in the grand scheme of things, but we enjoy it and we have fun. And I mean, I'm glad to have teammates racing with us in BPL now too. I mean, that helps a lot, even though they're running good and I'm just running right now, you know.
Terry can relate if he was here.
Yeah.
Well, since I am Terry, I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I understand.
So how'd you find Blazing Pedals then?
So Michael Falk over at MF Racing Designs, he's the one that introduced me to Mark, Sam, and all them. Me and Michael met. I posted on an iRacing group saying, does anybody have a paint scheme or can design me a paint scheme? And so I paid for the first one, and me and Michael just started talking all the time. And before I knew it, we were like best friends on here too. So he was like, hey, if I sponsor you, I can put you in this league, because he was watching me race in the Super Late Model Series and stuff like that.
Well, the extra deal, I'm the best there is, plain and simple.
Watch me do decent, you know, pretty good. And he was like, now this league's really competitive. And I'll be honest, when he told me, I was like, that league ain't that competitive. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to drag them boys. You know, that's what almost every ringer feels like when they come in there, you know. And I come in there, I just get my face stomped in, and I'm like, man, this is a really competitive league. And so, I mean, Michael is the one that got me in BPL, and then we brought Joshua Sexton and Christian Pittman in with us, and we're still learning. I mean, we're as you said, we're still a rookie. This is our quote unquote rookie season, so we're still developing, that's for sure. It's a lot harder than what I thought it would be.
Plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more competition in this league. I mean, ever since I've been in it, it's a pretty premier league with the amount of drivers in here, and you can even go look at all their I ratings and safety ratings. And well, I think me and Aaron looked up Jamie's one day. We were like, holy shit, he's got 3,000 races and like 1,800 wins or something. And I think his average incident's 1.3.
1.4 when I looked.
1.4.
Yeah. So I mean, that's insane. And that's another thing about Blazing Pedals is that, I mean, there's incidents. We're going to be racing hard. Like last night, I got involved in one, but that's going to happen. We're racing. We're not interstate driving, But you compare, I'd put this league up versus any league on iRacing right now and say, we can go heads up, And I honestly think this league would stand out above and beyond because it is that competitive. It is that clean. And it's remarkable, honestly. It really is.
Well, and we've said it 1,000 times. It's not just race. It's a bunch of friends getting together to race on Sunday night instead of just, you know what I mean? Just a racing league.
Right.
It's a community, like Mark says all the time. So that's what I like about it.
We got those hack-ass broadcasters.
Wow. Hey, that's getting personal now.
Yeah, Aaron said he texted you earlier today and yelled at you about having the camera on him during the race.
It's not my fault if you're going to wreck every time the camera's on.
I know.
That's just not how,
Nerve-wracking.
you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I don't watch the broadcast during the race, but last night afterwards, Corey texted me that you were in Gruenberg's cockpit when you wrecked. And I'm like, oh, of course. No wonder I wrecked. I was on the broadcast at that point.
Yeah, we kind of caught that one.
Yeah.
We caught a bunch of them, honestly. But, that track, extremely, extremely tough. So it's like you're not going to catch them all.
So I noticed late in the race last night, it was during a green flag pit stop. I'm going down pit road, and I think it was Ty. He was spun on the front stretch, and he was completely backwards. And so I pulled in my pits, and I see that, and I'm like, oh my god, there better be a caution. I'm gonna go lap down right here, And so the caution never fell last night, and so that kind of killed me too. So that track was super weird with it last night. Like Corey, you said you wrecked earlier in the race, and a caution came out, correct?
No, I spun.
Okay,
because I kept. Aaron spun and the caution came out, but he almost did the exact same thing I did. But I kind of hit the wall sideways and then I hit it again, and so I kept going forward. But yeah, Aaron even texted about Ty's crash last night that he did. I spun Ty into one too. I had to apologize to him because he braked halfway through and I bumped him. I was like, uh-oh, and he's spinning, but I let off and he caught it, and there's no caution for that either.
Right. So see, that's what I was wondering. I could see Ty's car over pit wall, and he was facing backwards. So I was like, I'm taking two tires here. I'm gonna get out pit road and kind of do what Brian did, have the caution fall, me still be on the lead lap because everybody else is gonna come in then too, and I could get track position that way. But it just didn't work out like that. Cautions were weird last night. They were really weird.
What was weird is I never stopped moving, and a caution came out. Ty came to a complete stop, and there was no caution.
Well, he did a burnout, he did a donut, had to turn himself completely around, and no caution fell.
Yeah,
so it was really weird. It was weird.
Yeah, they were weird last night.
So Amanda, how did you feel about Gateway?
I hated it. I think I expressed my opinion a lot during TeamSpeak last night. Everything about it. I didn't like the turns. I didn't like anything. I had a lot of problems myself with a low battery beeping nonstop. I said the frames per second were awful, going from 90 down to 35. Thought it was the transition into the night, but it decided to last the entire race. Every time I was on the front stretch, it was dropping down to 30 something frames per second. So everything was super glitchy. But like I said, I practiced shifting and started getting really comfortable shifting in 1 and 2. And then when I jumped into the race, decided not to because I was worried that I was going to wreck everybody else by shifting wrong, and just lost all the practice that I had. And every bit of confidence was out the window, and I just tried to survive.
Nice. Yeah, as everybody can see, who's on the banner again, I brought her back home. I'd like to do a little thanks for the banner. I'd like to thank TBB for spinning his wheels on that green, white checkered restart to hold
You
up
better
that bottom
thank him.
line. So I was
you
able to get
better
away
thank
from
him.
Aaron because Aaron was hunting me down because I was clutching, I think, the whole last stage there after the last pit stop because I decided I wanted fresh tires a little bit earlier than I should have took them, so it messed up. I was gonna be like one lap short or something, so I got it down and kept clutching, but then I saw that 44 coming in my mirror and he's saying, "Here, kitty, kitty." But that caution safety and then him spinning the wheels, I can't believe I finished 5th after I think I ended up with 40 seconds still worth of damage. I started at 2 minutes and 30 when I hit the wall lap 5 and ended with 40 seconds, and yeah, Aaron was going to get me.
I
Yeah, I
think he
didn't-
even chimed in and said, if I catch you, I'm going to wreck you for that spot.
Yeah, at one point, all 3 of us were together. I think right after Aaron wrecked, too. I was like, uh-oh, I'm like, me and Aaron both wrecked. Is Amanda going to take the banner again?
And then I hit the wall twice in 5 laps. You didn't catch that on the broadcast.
No, I didn't. And the problem is, so when I'm broadcasting, I can see what's on my screen,
I'm
and
not complaining. I'm happy that you didn't catch it.
I try and catch it. I try and catch it by using the timing, but sometimes I just can't see the difference in lap time, so I miss it.
I
It's
think
just how
Josh
it is.
Rutherford was the only one who saw it because I think I was right in front of him each time and scared the shit out of him each time too, but kept it going straight, so that's all that mattered.
Well, that is, I mean, say what you will about the track because it is tough, but it's a hell of a learning experience. There's not too many tracks that are out there that are so different corner to corner.
And that's what it was. 1 and 2 are so tight, and then 3 and 4, if you don't hit the exit right, you're killed going on straight away. Somebody's going to pull you like crazy, or they're going to get you inside. But I think the hardest part for me last night wasn't even the shifting or anything. It was being on like 10 lap fresh tires, versus somebody that's on 40 lap old tires, and I go down to the inside and you can't pass them. I mean, it was really, really hard to pass once you wore your tires out at all. Now, if you're on very, very fresh rubber, just come out of the pit, you can blow by somebody. But passing was the hardest thing for me because I didn't want to watch up and take somebody out either, So that was, and I made a decision last night not to qualify. And I've never, ever done it before. And I was like, I'm just going to try it this time and see what happens because my whole plan was just ride around. And by stage 2, start moving up or trying to move up. And no, there was no moving up. I followed Grunberg up to like 14th, and that was my block. I mean, I hit that, and it was going nowhere after that. It was very, very tough last night. Very, very, very mad all last night.
Yeah, it was a real tough track to pass, and following Gruenberg, he's just so good. I think it was at Rockingham. I could only follow him so far, and it's like just his talent. I'm like, yep, I
Right.
can't keep up with him anymore.
For about 3 laps, and then like my tires start falling off, and his tires just coming in. It seems like, and then
Right.
it was like, all right, bye, Grunberg. We'll see you when you lap.
Jamie, I was like, how the hell is Jamie still so
Right.
fast? I know he hasn't pitted at all, and he's still just cruising. And they all told me, this is the tracks that, Jamie loves this stuff. He loves loose cars, loose tracks. And I don't understand. How is he that good?
Right. Just an alien. I mean, Grunberg, they both are. They both are.
Yeah, it sucks that looks like Jamie was going to run out of gas because he had to pit during that green-white checker because I was behind him up to that point. I saw him backing off a lot, and I was clutching halfway down the backstretch in the 3 and 4. And I saw I was catching him, so I was like, oh, he's saving. I don't know if he can make it. So I was hoping everybody at the front was going to run out because I knew I was close, and they basically pit when I pit. But, yeah, he had to go in the pits there because that would have been a hell of a finish to see him and Grunberg at the end there.
Right. And
I don't know that it would have happened because Gruenberg had good tires at that point, and Jamie had taken tires after the first stage. So very different pit strategies, which I saw from just about everybody.
Right.
But Gruenberg has his strategy pretty well figured out, and he doesn't stray from it very often. And that's all I'm going to say about that because I'm not giving anything away. But it is right in the broadcast. I'm just saying.
See, we go into the race, we're not taking tires at the end of stage 1. Me, Josh, and Chris Pittman. Like, we say that every week. All right, we're not taking tires at the end of stage 1. And then say stage 1's 55 laps, whatever, like last night. By lap 50, we're like, man, I need some tires. You know, like I don't care what y'all do, I'm taking tires. And then we all three take tires, you know. And then by lap 155, we're screwed. We've done shot ourselves in the foot because the fast guys, the ones that know what they're doing, they still have a set of tires in their back pocket. You know, and I'm struggling because I don't have a set of tires in my pocket, and I've done falling off a cliff with lap times. And I got to get better at managing that. I just have to, but it's all in my head, you know. You can go from stage 1 to stage 2. Corey, you did it last night, correct?
I didn't take tires to lap 120 last night.
Right. 120?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think it was on purpose.
Yeah, it was. Well, the way I saw I was going to fall with the fuel, because I'm like, oh, I know we're going to go green flag the rest of the way. So I think I had, at the end of the stage 2, I had like 14 or 15 laps of fuel left. So I'm like, okay, I'll run this out. Then I only have 3 stops left, and then I'll take tires all those 3 stops. Well, I didn't mean to. I was going to take them at my pit stop before that, but I had them unchecked. And I go there, I'm like, they're like, go. I'm like, oh shit, you guys didn't change my tires. I'm like, well, I can't go back in now. I was like, fuck. I'm like, I looked at them. I think at the end of it, they were at 57% after 120 laps, but also I had engine damage, so that was slowing me down a little bit too.
But that showed, I mean, you didn't, at the beginning of the run, we noticed that you would chew up the right front more just because the setup, it fired off a little tight, you know. But then as the run went on, I had even tire wear all night between my right front, right rear. My teammates didn't. They were really chewing up the right front. So, like, I kept telling myself, well, I just need to drive in harder then. You know, drive in harder, get the car rotate, go out. And every time I tried to do it, I'd be good for about 4 or 5 laps. And then before I knew it, I was going backwards. So, like, something of how I approached the track last night was completely wrong. And we did I don't know how many laps we did. How many laps we did last night? 220?
Yeah, 220.
Yep.
We did 220 laps. We could fire up Gateway right now, and I didn't learn a thing from last night. I'm just as clueless tonight as I was when I joined last night.
Only thing I learned was I don't want to run it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. There you go. There you go.
Well, that also messed me up too because for some reason in my head I thought we were only running 210 laps. I'm like, oh, I got more than enough gas to get to the end here. I'm like, why does it say? I'm like, it must be that extra 10 laps I added on to the fuel thing.
Right.
Well, and we even talked about it in TeamSpeak that we had that green-white checker, and Corey and I was talking. We're like, how are you on fuel? I'm like, I'm good with this one, but if we go another one, I'm screwed.
Yeah, I was too. I think when we went green, I had 3 laps left of fuel.
That was if we had another green-white checker, our little crew, we wasn't going to make it. We weren't going to make it a second one. There just wasn't no way.
Right.
What's up, Dalton and Michael and Dave Seats? Thanks for joining us tonight. And Kyle Wallman, what's up?
Dave had a pretty good run last night, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was up towards the front for a little bit. I think we saw on the broadcast.
Yeah, he was.
He was right there with us, him and John Perkins, when we were running right there with that. Was it the last caution that came out when I was right behind you, Corey? So
yeah, Perkins spun behind us because I saw in the rearview mirror. I was like, oh, that looks like a caution.
Yeah, I think Seats was right there with us there. So
y'all were in front of the turn 3 mayhem on the last lap, wasn't you? Amanda, you were probably back here with me. I think I was running like 12 to 13, something like that. And it was Hamlin and Jamie. And I think Jamie just kind of, I don't think he meant to get into it. I think he just got in hot, thinking he'd get underneath him and couldn't. Hits Hamlin. I hit Jamie, and I was just along for the ride at that point. So I went from finishing a terrible 13th, 14th, you know, because you got to get points in there for playoffs, to finishing. I think I ended up coming on 19th last night because of that. But it looked like a lot of people, from my point of view in the car, it looked like a lot of people got destroyed in that incident because it just turned into a parking lot, I thought. I'm sure Chris had a better view of it than I did, of course, but it looked like a parking lot.
It felt like it for a little while. I mean,
right.
And that was after some great racing. I say great racing because at the end of the day, it really was.
Right.
You know, nobody really enjoyed the track, at least not talking right now. But I'll tell you, it put on a hell of a show. And, from my point of view, that's kind of what it's all about. So, we'll
So-
take that.
Was there
Um,
was there a lot of action up towards the front of the pack? I never got up there, so I couldn't tell you. Corey and Aaron, I mean, y'all finished good. Was there action up there too?
Well, it
The
took
best-
took me to the end of the race to get up to the front, so I didn't see too much up front.
yeah, the best action happened after each stage where the field kind of got stacked back up.
Right.
I'll tell you, right after stage 1, man, it was like totally different race all of a sudden. It was a lot of fun to watch. A lot of fun.
I noticed that. Now I heard Amanda say the setup was kind of loose. I thought the setup was pretty tight all night, and then when the sun went down and it got dark, I thought it got really, really tight. But I feel like that helped the guy on the outside lane. Like if you got side by side with somebody and you're on the outside, there was times where I could actually make passes on the outside last night. I don't know. I haven't watched very many races at Gateway in real life, so I don't even know where the racing groove is there. I saw people rolling the seam in 1 and 2 up from the bottom. I seen people rolling the bottom, and that's what I'm saying. Like I watched so many people turn laps last night, including myself, and I still don't know how to run Gateway because like I was so far off, and I hope I never have to go back. So the broadcast may have been good, but out my windshield, no fun for me last night.
I was gonna put in the suggestion spot on Discord on the Blazing Pedals page to suggest not putting it on the schedule
Right.
next year.
Right.
If that's
Now-
allowed.
I was planning on voting for it for the championship race.
Yeah.
personally.
I hope that's where the All-Star race is at.
Wow. Uh-huh.
Yikes for me, big yikes.
So
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions for Tanner since he's here. The cotton candy machine. Did you have input on that, or is that, hey, Mike, I need a paint, make one up?
So, I collect diecast cars, and I'm just going to preface all this by saying that, like, I have all kinds of diecast cars. So, like, I love paint schemes. I love collecting NASCAR paint schemes, retro, new, and stuff like that. And so, me and Michael talk constantly about paint schemes. Like, did you see this one? Did you see that one? And then he wrote me one day and he said, "I'm gonna make you a new BPO car. Is there anything you have in mind?"
Well, Dick,
And
here's
as
the
a
deal.
joke,
I'm the
Chris,
best
just a
there is,
complete
plain
joke, I
simple.
said,
I wake up in the morning, I piss
baby
next
blue,
one.
pink, make it sexy. If you don't, you're fired. And he said, mission accepted or challenge accepted. And I promise you, he had me at car within 2 hours. And I sent it to my fiance, and she's like, I love that. I love that car. It's a different type of car, like Mark Arthur. If you ever see him on track, he has
Yes.
the pink cars, So it's kind of a gimmick infringement, sort of, but it's not totally girly, It's pretty girly, but we got.
So what you're saying is Mark's paint is girly.
Well,
That's what I heard.
but I've been beat by Mark a few times. So, like, he runs officials and stuff like that. People say, "Oh, you got a girly paint scheme." Well, you just got beat by a dude in a girly paint scheme.
Yeah.
Right. So
That's when you learn that it's not the paint job, it's the driver.
exactly.
Fun paint jobs
Right.
are fun. I dig them.
So mainly the pink was for my daughter, and then the baby blue just kind of came in. It was just a joke, a total joke. I figured Mike would say, "Shut up! Like, what do you really want?" But he said, "Challenge accepted." I was like, "I don't care. I'll run anything. I can't see it anyways. I don't care." And so we did it, and that's what we ran for the last few weeks. Don't get it very much time. We're not up front, but we're running it still. We're still rocking it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the paint
that's what-
schemes like that are good because when you're coming up on somebody, you don't even have to look at the relative meter. You know who you're coming up on. You
Right.
know.
Exactly. That's why I like Dave Seat's car and everything. I could
I
tell
love-
who I'm around right there.
Yep.
Y'all said Dave was watching a while ago. I love Dave's car because my nephew, he's autistic, and so like that touches like a soft spot for me. I love that car, and we're gonna be bright all year. That's all I'm gonna say. Well, we got more in the pipeline. They're gonna be bright all season long.
It was also great to see Derek to get a podium there with Michael Fox's daughter's paint scheme that she did.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That thing's
That was awesome.
adorable. The little slices of pizza and the strawberries.
And she has her own little MF logo on there or whatever.
Yeah. I
And
saw
it's-
that.
We actually I made some shirts and sent them out for Michael. He sent me a image for her, and I sent her a shirt when I did an order for him with that
Nice.
car on it.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Nice.
talking about them shirts, I'm supposed to have one pretty quick, so I'm waiting, Michael. I know you may not be watching now. You'll watch it back. I'm still waiting on my shirt, boss.
Was that your only question for him, Chris?
I'm sure I'll come up with more. You stand by.
Okay.
I thought we were doing a round robin thing.
Oh, okay.
Didn't we talk about that like 2 hours ago?
I
Well, you
don't
when
said
I
you had a
wasn't
couple
on yet.
questions.
So
You
y'all
said
had a
you had a couple
production meeting.
questions.
Oh
Right,
yeah,
production meeting didn't tell me, huh? I'm flying blind.
I knew I was coming on like 15 minutes before you all got on. So, yeah.
Yeah. So Aaron, you got a new wheel now. How'd that work for you last night? You just got the AccuForce I helped you set up Saturday, and is your first league race with it.
I really liked it. Like we talked, that my shifter wasn't compatible with it, so I had to order a new one, and it just showed up today. So we'll have another IT session, I'm sure, on how to get that all hooked up.
I think that was just plug and play. I don't think you have to do anything for that.
Yeah, but you know how I am with plug and play. It still
Right.
don't go the way it's supposed to. But yeah, I like it. I think Rick should get him one. You know, he keeps
Look,
going
the
back
last
and
thing
forth on it.
that you need to do is tell Rick he needs to get something. Okay, that's not right.
Well, he keeps saying he's going to. So
Oh, he will eventually, but you know, you don't have to tell him.
well, so that reminds us of a question we ask a lot. What kind of equipment are you running, Tanner, as far as wheel and pedals?
So I got my wheel is just the G29 wheel that it's broke on the inside somewhere because when I turn left I feel it like it's hitting something in there, you know. And then I have the Fanatec V3s, I think they're called,
Okay.
pedals, and I went out about 2 months ago and splurged on like a Beast PC, you know, because I wanted to get into streaming and stuff like that. So final upgrade, I need to get a new rig. We built this one, you know, and I need to get a new wheel, and I'll be good for at least 6 months, you know, until we find something new we want.
Yeah. So you built your own rig?
Yeah, it's just me and my dad built it. It's just made out of wood, you know. The
Yep.
first one we built was really, really big, so we came back right whenever it started getting warmer outside again, and we built this one. It's a lot more compact, you know. I had my keyboard beside me and stuff like that, but it's still not exactly what I want. I thought it was until we got inside. I did my first race on it, and I was like, nah, I don't know about it. I don't think I really like this. And it's hard because you don't know if you're going to like it or not until you really get in it and start racing, you know?
Yeah.
Because when we was outside, I loved it. I was like, oh, man, this is perfect. Exactly what I need. Hour later, I'm like, man, I hate this. What am I doing?
It was funny when Corey was building mine out here in the garage. He was taking all this, you know, I got all his hand-me-downs and everything, and he's like, climb up in it because it sits off the ground and everything. I
Right.
got in there. He's making fun of me because I'm, you know, pretending like I'm turning and all that stuff, kind of messing around. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I want to make sure that I'm sitting back far enough, sideways, whatever I got to do. And, you know, I want my cup holder over here, my ashtray over here. Like, it's got everything. And I must have sat in there for a half hour just kind of leaning around, making sure I was comfortable. And yeah.
That's why
So
I
I
liked building our rigs and all that, because you can sit in them, you can adjust stuff, especially because both ours are basically the platform's made out of wood, and then the structure is just like 2x4 that we painted, and I just put like that shower backing stuff on the outside of it just to enclose it in, and I just threw decals on it and stuff like that. But yeah, I just love how you can, because when I got my new wheel, I already had it built for my other one, and I had to adjust a bunch of stuff because the way it angled up from the G27 wheel, how the wheels angled up to the AccuForce is straight, I had to jack it up, put these big brackets on it, because I'm like, man, this thing's going to rip this thing apart. It's so powerful.
Right. So when we built this one, it holds my G29 wheel up here fine, you know, but it's built to mount the Fanatec on there. Whoop, I just hit the mic, sorry. It's built to hold the Fanatec on there. So hopefully if I ever upgrade to the AccuForce or the Fanatec or something like that, hopefully, like Aaron said, it's plug and play. Hopefully I can just set it up there with no dealing with mounting and stuff or like reconfiguring and stuff like that. Because we spent a lot of time on this one trying to get it perfect, and as you heard, I mean, it's still not perfect. I want to just buy a rig, you know, but I thought maybe we could make it work doing it our way, you know, but no. Well, maybe next time. Third time's a charm, possibly.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that worked out great for Aaron is I was on TeamViewer on his computer setting it all up, and it must have pulled all the settings I had for my wheel on it, because his wheel was set up exactly like mine was. As soon as we got the software up, I was like, oh, well, that was easy.
So I just now started hearing about those wheels, and are they fairly new, or have they been around for a while?
I'm not exactly sure. I think they've been around for a little bit, maybe a year or so. But
Okay.
yeah, I just looked up because I wanted to upgrade, because I started out with the G27, and I'm like, well, I wanted to go to direct drive, so I bought the V3 inverted pedals, the Thrustmaster shifter, and then the AccuForce wheel, because it just had great reviews for it. So I'm like, yeah, might as well go all out, because I used to be in bowling, and I was like, well, I'm gonna quit doing bowling, so basically racing's gonna be my hobby now, so I might as well upgrade my rig, because this is my new hobby.
So did you was the jump going from, I guess, G27, it's gear driven too, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Was the jump to direct drive, was it as good or whatnot as you thought it would be, or was you how you like it? How much better you like it?
Oh, I love it. And I even told Aaron, that's what I kind of sold Aaron on it too, that when you're going into the corners with this wheel, you can actually feel the weight of the car when you're turning it. So, like, you can feel the sweet spot where you can keep the wheel and it makes the corner.
So right now I have an excuse why I'm not fast. I got this crappy wheel. Thank you. All right, I needed that.
Hey, the G27, there is nothing wrong with that.
No, Amanda got a third in hers.
That's right.
Talladega, wasn't it? Third?
Yeah.
Definitely wasn't at Gateway.
Right.
You were third from last at Gateway, weren't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, it was true. Like my third spot.
Come on, man. You can't get podiums every week. You just started.
Yeah, you gotta let somebody else
Yeah, you don't want to make Corey look bad.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
I think it'll be for sale quick.
I was laughing last night, wondering if they were gonna take each other out when we were all three together towards the back and everything. I was thinking, don't let me carry the banner being 4 laps down at the end of the race, guys. Come on.
Amanda, I think you were basically like me last night. We needed about 15 people to take each other out to finish podium.
Yep, exactly.
It was
Enough
insane.
gas at the end, but it didn't help when I was 4 laps down.
I'm terrible at fuel mileage races anyways, because like everybody says like they hold the clutch in, they shut the engine off. I was doing all that last night, and Sexton had like 18 laps left at one point. I topped off, he didn't top off, and I had 16 laps left at one point. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm clutching, I'm doing everything you're doing, except yours is better, I guess. Like, so I'm not doing it. Like, at one point last night, I was literally letting off at the start finish line, because I could tell the person behind me was saving, and I could tell the person in front of me was saving, because they wouldn't ever. We were just staying pretty much plateaued right there on the delta or whatever. But one more green white checker, I was for sure going to run out. I didn't know if I was going to make the last green white checker, to be honest. That's how close it was.
Yeah, like I said, after the final pit stop there before that caution to get the green white checkered, I was saving, I think, almost that whole time, because I think I started out, I was going to be 0.05 short, and then I got down to 1, and then by that time I had that 44 right in my mirror, so I'm like, well, I got to push a little bit. I'm like,
Right,
this is for the banner right here.
So that's cool. Y'all have something to race for like that. So I take it the banner is out of y'all 4, counting Terry, correct? Whoever finishes.
Yep, whoever
ahead.
finishes the highest, then he can talk shit the next week on Shop Talk.
Right,
and
right,
then
right.
throughout because we have a whole group message, we basically message each other every day, just, saying, hey, what's up, or just talking shit to each other.
Right.
So, yeah, the banner's for all 4 of us, but it really comes down to me, Amanda, and Corey, because Terry never shows up, and when he does, he's not getting it. So that's the kind of shit we talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's kind of like personal goals. I'm happy I got it once for the season. I'll love if I can get it again, but it kind of makes me feel a little bit better. And just inside our own team, like, Jesus, if I could beat these 2, and
Right.
like Corey's really good, Aaron's really good, Terry's good in his own sense too. We don't get to race as much with him anymore, but it's kind of like a little personal goal. I got it once. Now maybe I'm gonna try to get it again for a second time, and it's just fun.
Like Talladega, that's one of them tracks. Like I go into Talladega just wanting to finish. Like on the lead lap, just finish with having the front clip on it, the rear clip, just no damage, just finish the race. And
See, I love tracks like that because I know, I knock on wood, 99% of the time I can avoid just about any wreck around me. That's the one thing I've learned about myself mostly, that I'm pretty damn sure of since I started, and that's why I'm excited, for Charlotte and any of those tracks that it could be a big mess because I can avoid them, or even if I have to slow
Right.
down and stop on the goddamn track, I will, but I'm gonna get around it and through it, but. Not the short tracks. I don't like them, but I'm gonna hop on like never done Daytona Road, so I'm gonna get on in the next couple weeks and practice that a bunch. Some of these other ones to
Well,
see if
Jack,
I
here's
have
the
some
deal.
other
I'm the best
styles of
there is,
tracks
plain
that
and
I'll do
simple. I
better
mean, I
on.
wake
But
up in the morning, I
again,
piss excellence.
Gateway, I knew for a fact I was gonna be a mess there. I told them right when we were getting in. I said I don't want to do this. I said in the group message that I was just gonna throw it in the wrong gear or turn right as soon as we started the race.
Me and Pittman had a joke going that we were gonna have an early exit last night. we like contrived a plan where I was gonna wreck him, he was gonna wreck me. We were gonna junk each other so we could leave.
Oh damn!
But it never happened.
Well, in our
Somebody
group
hit
text,
me.
in our group text earlier in the week, that's what Amanda said. She said, "I'm just going to turn right at the green flag," and I said,
Right.
"At least go into one and blow your motor so it looks like you tried."
Son of a bitch, nobody else is gonna be shifting. Well, then I'm not gonna shift. I bailed on that right away, but I'm like, well, now I can't blow my engine in front of everybody, so because they'd be like,
So,
oh, stupid girl.
and you did not shift because you're a shifter. Amanda, you didn't shift during the race either, correct?
I maybe about 15 different laps when I realized it was just a complete shit show. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to shifting. I spent 3 hours practicing shifting. Went
Right.
back to it. I go, this isn't gonna make a goddamn difference. All it's gonna do is make me wreck somebody. So I jumped right back off of it.
And Corey, was you shifting last night?
Nope, I wasn't shifting at all.
See, I wasn't either. I couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. I tried a few times, just a handful of times, but I couldn't be consistent enough with it.
Well, like I said, once I learned that line where I was turning into the corners a little bit later, I was actually a lot faster than when I was shifting because I tried to go back to shifting to see if it would improve it at all, and I was slower doing shifting than without.
Now you qualified up near the front last night, too, didn't you? Like fifth
Yeah,
or sixth?
fourth.
Right there. Aaron, where'd you qualify at last night?
I want to say 17th.
Okay, so you started back here in the Hornets Nest basically with me. I think I didn't qualify, but there was like 5 of us that didn't qualify. So I think I started 24th or something like that. There was only a few people behind me on grid, I know. And Amanda,
And I think I was the slowest actual qualifier, so I was right in front of you guys that didn't qualify. I think I had a 34.9.
well, during practice, I know me and you did a long run together. I don't even know if you even noticed it, but I followed you for like we was out there for about 20 laps, and
Was that during the pit party?
it was I think before it because I stepped away for like 20 minutes, but we did like at least about a 20 lap run, and I call that a long run just because I don't never go out there and practice and really do that. And when I was running with you and there was somebody else out there with us, I felt confident. I was like, oh, okay, I'm good.
So did I. Yeah, during practice.
Like I'm not pushing it right now. I'm just chilling, but I feel competitive. Then I did one pit party, felt great in the pit party. I was like, oh, I'm going to play with my little boy. I'm good. Like I'm going to play with my kids, and then I'll come back. And I still knew I wasn't qualifying, but I was like, I'll be good. I'll start in the back. I'll save my stuff, and I'll be there at the end. No, wasn't happening. Wasn't meant to be.
When I
Not at all.
qualified, I kind of threw the lap away a little bit. I wasn't trying my hardest to qualify because I honestly thought somebody's going to go into turn one. We're going to have a big wreck.
Right.
And so I was hoping to avoid that. And really, I need to quit thinking that because we talk about it all the time. The guys in this league are good, and
Right.
they're getting better every race. So you get this mindset of you're going to go in and it's going to be a problem, but these guys are all good.
I
Well,
think
that's what we usually say. Like, I think we said it before this race, and I think before, Iowa wasn't bad or Rockingham, but we go in there saying, "Oh, there's gonna be so many cautions. This is gonna be a shit show," and then now you gotta go in saying, "All right, this is just gonna be green flag the whole way." That's how you gotta think about it.
Right. I mean, and that will affect your strategy too. If you think there's going to be a lot of cautions, like going into the final stage last night, I really and truly, even though the trend of the race wasn't a lot of cautions, I thought there would be cautions, and we went theoretically flag to flag until like that last caution or the last two cautions or whatever. But I think the one quote unquote messy race we had all season was Lucas Oil. And that was just, I mean, the setup
At Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, yes, Milwaukee's a hard track too. So the flat tracks like that, I don't gel with them very much. And I mean, I know Gateway's banked, but in my mind and the way it drives, it feels like a flat track when you're out there, to me at least. But I think Lucas Oil though was the one track where we actually hit the 5 cautions. Actually, well, you're right, we did it at Milwaukee too, for sure. I remember Sam was pretty mad at Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even though we had a lot of cautions at Milwaukee and Lucas Oil, and we talked about it at the time, they weren't guys getting into each other.
Right,
it was
right.
more self spins off the corners.
Yep.
So, like I said, we do have good competition in here. The more you race around somebody, I mean, you know, when Tanner first came in halfway through the season last year, nothing against Tanner, but since he's our guest tonight, it's okay. How does this guy drive? We got a new guy on the track
Right.
who, you know, because you see the name pop up and you're like, okay, who's this guy?
God. Right.
You know?
Yep.
So, but now, you know, it's like, okay, I'm around Tanner. I'm not worried about anything.
Right.
So
That's why I was really happy to be able to do the fun races with you guys. When Corey got me in, when he did in December, he's like, you know, just work on your licenses and everything, your classes, get in the fun races. So I was able to kind of figure some of you guys out, who are the really fast ones, who's the consistent ones, who's the ones that, you know, tend to tap the wall or push a little too hard. So it gave me a chance to learn. And there's still a few of them that I don't really see much on the track because they're either always up front or something. But as I learned their driving styles, I think everybody's pretty much learned mine to the extent that they could already. It does definitely help when you know everybody else.
Now, Bockover, what did me and you that what not blocking you on the last lap? Was it me and you that I did that too?
Yeah. Rockingham.
Was it Rockingham?
Yeah.
In our Discord, I was like, dude, Aaron is gonna. I can only imagine what he's saying to me right now. But it's last lap, you know, like normally I don't try to do that, but it was the last lap. I don't know what place it was for. What place was it even for?
I don't know, but it was an extra spot. That's all that matters.
But that's why I messaged you after. I was like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I know, like, I hated to be that guy. Like, I told him in Discord, I was like, dude, I just drove Bach over all the way down to the inside wall.
Well, and you sent me a message about that, and I sent it back that I would have done the same thing on the last lap. You know, every position is a point, and we've talked about that may be the difference between getting into the playoffs and
it matters.
Aaron threatened to wreck Corey last night.
Oh, he wouldn't have.
That wasn't a threat.
No, he wasn't threatening me. That's why I'm glad that caution came out, because he was gonna wreck me.
Yeah, it wasn't a threat. It was a warning.
So y'all being teammates, have y'all ever got into each other on the track?
Oh yeah.
Sort of practice and stuff.
No, I've gone in.
Well,
I think not too much this season, but well, Terry did pop up in front of me, and I spun him. And what was that? I think that was Lucas Oil. He did that shit. And then me and Aaron, I think the only time we ever hit each other is like if we're trying to let the other one by, and then you just get too hot into the corner and drift up. You're like, oh.
Wow.
The only time I remember getting into each other was Martinsville last season.
That's funny.
Oh
yeah, because I was like, fuck, I'm gonna wreck that 44 next race. Fuck him.
but we were all lined up, and I'm not sure, but I think it was the 16 in front of you, and he checked up just a little more, and I got in the back of Corey. But you know, it's in that split second, if somebody gets into you, you're like, you get mad,
right?
But by the end of the day, it's a video game. Nobody's gonna get hurt. You know what I mean?
Right. So me and Joshua Sexton, we were Martinsville Super Lates in cricket line racing. It's not nearly a league like Blazing Pedals is, but there's a bunch of good short track drivers in there that only race Super Lates. You know, so like to run up front in that series, I tell them all the time I'm an admin in there, and I tell new guys all the time to come in here like, don't come in here expecting to win because you're not gonna have fun. You know. But anyways, me and Sexton, we were racing at Martinsville 1-2, and we actually had all our team behind us. Like, we had no pressure behind us. And we always say a team win is better than any solo win. But that's why that team wins a lot, like, no matter where we go, you know? But long story short, me and Sexton wrecked each other coming out of turn 4, and collected everybody. Nobody in our team won. And that's the one time me and a teammate have ruined each other's races. I mean, it was like 2 laps to go, like it was so late in the race that they crossed the start finish line. The white flag came out, and that ended the race once the caution fell. And that's the one time that I can think of that me and the teammates got into each other, and it was kind of my fault. I broke loose, took him out, and had egg on my face, And I know he was mad at me, and we didn't talk right then because I could tell he was mad right then. He just gets quiet, But then about an hour later, we talked about it, and we just laughed about it. It was like it had to happen eventually, Race together so much, like y'all race together so much, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's hard racing, and like I said, with the guys in the league, we've raced around them enough. If someone gets into you, I was joking around with Corey that I would have wrecked him. I'm not going to wreck him. I'm going to try my best to get by him. But it's one of those that I think.
And then he'll wreck him.
Yeah.
Right.
Then I'm going to wreck him when he gets by me.
Right. But I do think that there's enough respect for everybody in our league and on the track that in that moment you're like, what the hell were they thinking? And then when you think, it's just hard racing. I don't think anybody's going to intentionally wreck anybody here.
I think if we get, or somebody gets into me on track, especially on Sunday nights, like you said, during that moment I'm mad, but nobody in that league wants to tear up their own car, Like we said earlier, no fast repair. You get damage. I mean, Corey got lucky last night with engine damage, brought it back to 5th, but on iRacing, if you get any type of engine damage, if you're off 2,000 RPMs, your race is chalked up. You're pretty much done, And I mean, Corey was an anomaly last night, finished 5th, and he probably cheated to that. But that's okay.
Well, it was either the way, because I was almost going to get lapped a bunch of times, or I did get lapped, and it's either take the wave around to stay in the lead lap or go get my car fixed. And most of the time I chose to stay in the lead lap to hopefully there'd be a caution where I can then go get some damage fixed, but we didn't have that many cautions last night.
Do you know what your RPMs were, Corey? Did you ever look at them?
No.
See how much you were down?
No, I didn't really look at them. I just know because Aaron, what do you have? 45 seconds, you said, when you hit the wall?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and he had it like more straight on than I did, and I had 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and he was saying that he was as slow as me, but obviously at the end, you got all yours fixed though, and I was still 45 seconds left. But yeah, my team, they crumpled the hood back down, and they turned some bolts, and like I said, the only thing that helped me was Taylor spinning his wheels on that restart and slowing up that bottom line, because otherwise Aaron would have definitely got me.
Tanner, do you race in VR or do you race on monitors?
I race on monitors. I almost went VR. Only reason why I didn't, when I watch somebody stream on Twitch, if they stream in VR, I just don't like it. I don't like it when they look around and stuff like that. That's the one thing that kept me from doing it. But I never really watched anybody do VR when I bought this new curved monitor or whatever. And I watched Mark the other night, and I was like, dude, like he turned around, he could look all the way around here and everything. And we were doing COTA, the road course. And I mean, I don't know if y'all know COTA or not, but like turn 1, you go up that big hill, and like Mark was able to look over to the left, and he could see over there, So I'm going to be VR pretty quick, for sure.
I couldn't imagine doing it without VR. I watched some of you guys on your different streams and stuff doing it on monitors, and it baffles me. I feel like it wouldn't be the same at all. I don't think I could ever go to it.
It's hard. Like I have my left and right arrows programmed to look left, look right, but it's nothing compared to y'all. So Aaron, you race VR too, right? I know Amanda and Corey do.
Yeah, I've raced in VR since day one.
But see, I don't know if y'all can tell. Like another reason why I didn't. I'm sweating right now because I can't even have my air conditioner turned on because my mic's gonna pick it up just like that. So I can only imagine having a helmet on, basically, like while I'm racing, a headset, So there was a few reasons why I didn't do it, but after watching Mark and like really paying attention to him doing it, because I thought like the quality would look terrible. I didn't think it would be up to par, But man, it was awesome. I mean, I watched him turn all the way around, and he could look anywhere, And I was like, dude, I paid $900 for this monitor. I could have had a nice VR headset.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, during Talladega, I was trying to get down. Now, I had a problem with my crew chief app, and I couldn't hear him when the engine was going full bore, and I was trying to get on the inside line, and I was looking, and Corey Rutherford was to the left of me, and I couldn't hear if I was clear over and over again. I think it went on for a full lap, and I was like, fuck, Jesus. And I kept looking, and finally, I'm in my seat in my garage. I look all the way around, and I see finally, like, okay, I can get down there.
See?
I pulled down. I wouldn't have been able to tell if I
Right,
could get down there.
right.
It was driving me crazy. I couldn't hear it. You wouldn't be able to see it on a monitor, but I literally yanked all the way around, looked, I go, okay, I can get in there.
So since I got this new computer, I can run my graphics all the way max, you know. And so now I get to use like my car mirrors that I used to have them turned off, but like the little mirror that's right over there on the driver's side door, right by the net, and then the actual rearview mirror, you know. So on this monitor, that's all I really have over there. It's just that little mirror, and I mean it's like that big, you know. So in VR, I would love to just be able to turn my head and look, especially at a track like Talladega or Daytona or Gateway. I mean, any of them tracks, you know, I would love just to be able to have the immersion where I can just see around me.
Yeah, I turn off all my mirrors in the car except for just the virtual mirror in the VR,
Right.
and just use that. And like it says, you gotta look over. You just look over. Like sometimes I'll look over and be like, "Oh, where are they? Right there. Okay, yeah, I should get a run on them into the corner, then get in the corner, and yeah, that's how that works."
So what if I was to get online right now and order a VR headset? What VR headset do y'all? What are y'all using?
I have
The
the
Rift S, but the rich man there, he'll tell you what he's got.
I got the Pimax 5K Plus, and Amanda's got the original Oculus.
All right, repeat what you got. If I click off the screen, it ain't gonna throw me off anywhere, is it?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Let's see what you got.
The Pimax 5K Plus. I think they got like a 8K or 10K now.
They do.
I was gonna say
It's
I think
8K.
8K.
The Oculus isn't bad, but there's sometimes I think because I have a small face and everything that it gets a little blurry if it's not sitting perfect. But I think it's still just a little big for me. But I don't mind that.
Yeah,
I don't think that's it though. I really don't, because that used to happen to me with the original Oculus
Really?
too. Yeah.
There are times if you sat and watched me through an entire race, at least every 10 laps, you're going to see me fidgeting, making sure I'm pulling it back up, getting it back, moving it all around. And it's comfortable. It doesn't fog up or anything, but I'm constantly fidgeting it. And I just thought it was because I had a weird shaped face.
Now, Chris, do you do VR? Are you
I
in VR?
do. Yeah.
How do you do
I
it with
have-
glasses? Does it okay?
It's okay. So I have the Quest 2. And there's actually an insert that you can put in that puts just enough gap for my glasses,
Right.
and it seems to work out just fine.
Let's
Well,
see.
Terry found his VR. There's some weird lenses that he got from like Poland or something. He said it took
Yep.
like 10 days to come in, and you can get your prescription from your eye doctor, send it to them. Terry has it, the website. But he says pop him right in, and he doesn't have to wear his glasses, and he loves it.
Yeah.
Right.
I would much rather do it that way, but I haven't done it. I
And
don't
I
race
don't
enough
think-
to warrant it, so
And I don't think they're really all that expensive. I want to say he
No.
paid like $75.
yeah, I
and-
think it was
and-
right around there.
Yeah, and
He
it's
said it
just,
was totally worth it for the comfort level.
oh yeah, I can see where just they just pop right in. So it'd be like having your glasses on there.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I started it with basically the Oculus that she was using, and you get that screen door effect with the original Oculus. I don't know how yours is, Aaron, if that went away a little bit, but I noticed that quite a bit when I got started, because I started right in VR too. But when I bought the Pimax, because I wanted to get the what's the one Mark has? The
Index.
the Index.
The Steam Index.
Yeah, well, I was on the waiting list for that, and they sent it to the email I don't check, and you only have a week before you can buy it.
Wow.
And it was a day after I could have bought it. It expired. I was like, shit. So I was like, what's the next best one? So I did some research and found the Pimax, and I'll tell you what, it's just like a video, like a screen right in front of your face. You don't see any screen door effect at all. I got it set up pretty good now. I actually, with my webcam last night, I have a 20-foot USB extension cable. I was running my webcam off my streaming computer, my work computer, so it didn't hurt my frames at all.
I put his headset on one time, and I just to see what it looked like. Well, he had me do it through his, and it was like 10 times better. It was amazing, but it is literally like having a VCR
Yeah.
on your face. The thing
Yeah,
is
it's big.
gigantic. It was like all the way across my face.
I found it. I found two of them. One right here is 900, and the other one I found is 1500. But they look like the same. Like the wording on them, like the title of the thing on Amazon looks the same. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the one I bought was, I think it was around 900 because it's right around the price. It was close to the same price of the Index, or a little bit cheaper. And they said it was pretty close to the same quality, so that's why I decided, I'm like, well, instead of waiting for 3 more months or whatever, a month to be on the waiting list, I'm like, I'll just Amazon Prime it and have it here in 2 days.
Is it pretty easy to set up and everything? Now, keep in mind, I'm not a computer genius. Like, I am very, very computer illiterate. So
there's some good YouTube videos to help set it up. It's not too difficult. It's just getting all the, which I can help you out with if you end up buying it. I can help you out with all the settings and all that too, because basically I just took settings from like the Oculus and changed some things on it. Then it has its own software where you can change different settings in it to get it nice.
now, when y'all say screen door effect, what y'all mean with that? What's
like if you look out a storm door with the screen on it, you can see like the little, when you
like
look
pixels almost?
Yeah, not really pixels, but it almost looks like you're looking through a screen door when you're looking through it.
I got you.
Well, I had the Rift CV1, and the screen door effect that he's talking about, you could tell, but it's like anything else. Once you got used to it, you didn't see it as bad.
Right.
Yeah, I don't notice it as much now, but if I get it perfect, you don't, but you get used to it.
Well, and then I moved up to the Rift S, and the screen door effect is nowhere near as bad, but it's not as good as Corey's is going to be. But it was, I want to say, like $400 for the Rift S.
Okay. All right. See, I bought this curved monitor, and I have 3 monitors behind me for when I stream. But when we built this, I had a triple monitor stand, and for whatever reason, the left monitor on the stand, it droops down. So I've never actually finished them together, like finished it. So if I actually am streaming, I just get one of my single monitors from behind me. It's only like 27 inches, whereas this is, I don't know how big this monitor. I think it's 39 inches. It's not the 49-inch ultra wide, but it's a curved ultra wide. I love the monitor, but I can't figure out my stream settings to make it where I can stream off it. So I'm in the market. Basically, I'm going to probably go VR more than likely.
Well, VR, until you've done it, I've seen the streams that you're talking about. They don't do it justice. I mean, the reason I even asked about if you ran in VR is we were talking about how you get upset. It seems to be that you're upset a little longer when you're in VR because you're literally sitting in that car and it becomes your reality. And it's like, are you kidding
And when you
me?
see that hood crumpled in front of you, like I was mad at myself for hitting the wall because I was just staring at the front right, just crumpled up. I could see it right in front of me. Like I felt like I could reach out and I just wanted to bang it back down.
Yeah. Do y'all still wear your like headsets or whatever, or do you?
Yeah, we had it because mine has a mic on it. The Index the Pimax doesn't come with earphones, so I just bought a a JBL wireless headset thing, which works great because like when we have interviews and stuff with like the broadcasts, if you finish the podium like Amanda does, I had to keep my headset on while I was doing the interviews, especially with the webcam, so it looks kind of stupid if you're just looking around talking. So now I can actually take the headset off and just still have the audio headset on. Or like what Aaron's doing right now. I wear mine.
Yeah, I wear this when I'm racing because the Rift S, the one speaker they have in the headband, it doesn't give you enough sound, but it has like a plug-in that if you wanted to wear like the old Walkman style headset or something, that'd fit on real easy. But
I see, like looking at y'all's headsets, y'all don't look nearly as bulky in this part, whereas like mine's like super bulky. But like I love his headset, like.
Right, but that headset, you'd put the Rift on, like for example, and then that would just go over the top on the outside, just like your hat.
Right. Okay. Because I got this from Best Buy, and coming from the headset that I had and putting this one on, dude, this one's awesome. Like, I don't even remember the name of it. It's like Raisin Tournament ass Kraken, something like that. But like it has like the surround sound and stuff like that. So like it sounds perfect. But going back to what you're saying, like whenever y'all are in VR and you're sitting here driving, you're not in your bedroom, basically, like.
Oh yeah, you're inside a car.
I'm looking around. I'm in my bedroom, So I can only imagine. I'd wake up the kids every night, dude, in VR. I'd be in here cussing. I'd be ready to fight somebody,
Yeah, I forget, like we're sitting in the garage sometimes, and like you think you'd get uncomfortable wearing it, and that was one of my things that hindered me from jumping in and learning how to do this for. I said I don't want to sit in those things for hours on end, and finally, like what I did, like it's like I don't even feel it after the first couple times racing, and you just get so used to it, you don't feel the weight, you don't feel the headset. It actually feels weird when you take it off.
I want to get Emily in to iRacing, my fiance, but she won't do it. I have a wheel she can use. I have pedals over there. I gave her my old computer, and she
Oh
won't
boy, look who joined the party.
If she wants to try it out sometime and she does it, because I didn't want to get in with Corey because and any of you guys, because you're really good and you're way farther along than me.
Right.
And so like Mark had suggested the ladies of iRacing, and actually it gave me a little bit of a confidence boost to jump in with you guys because I saw some of them and I was like, oh geez. But if she ever wants to just try it, and like you or Corey want to throw up like a locked practice or something just to
Right.
ride around, I'm willing to just ride around with her if she wants to do something like that and just see if she likes it a couple nights a week for a while, because it would be awesome to have another like chick in there or something. But just
Right.
I said to him, he'd come over and start pestering me, do this, like get the fuck away from me. Just let me learn like
That's
at
what I
my
was
own speed, and then
like.
we'll go from there.
Like if Emily was to have her own rig, I couldn't just leave her alone. I'd like, listen now, you're gonna have to arc that corner. You can't just go in there and just smack that brake. You
They
gotta.
keep yelling at him. I'm like, I don't even understand these goddamn words that you're saying to me. Like, let me get in and ride around for a little bit. And then like sometimes I feel stupid. They start talking to each other and I'm like, excuse me, I don't know what that
Right.
means. Like I've watched NASCAR growing up and everything, but I don't know all the words and the terminology and all that fun stuff. I'm like, oh, you're teaching me too much at once. So if she
Right.
ever wants to just do that and just ride around and have a little fun, like, just I'm game for it if she ever wants to.
In all honesty, you've said it too, Amanda.
Upstate New York, Sam.
Everybody will help everybody.
Yep.
You want to make the next guy better so that you have that competition. That's one good thing about this league, that Dalton got in our practice the other night and he was talking to us and we were all working with each other. Yeah.
Mark came in, so we're running Coda on Wednesday night in a Cup Series league, and Mark came in there with us on Friday night and literally stayed in there with us for 3 hours, and I think he made it 6 laps all night. What was he doing the rest of the night? He was in my car, in my cockpit, and I'm like 4 seconds faster on my lap time now just from him coaching me,
He jumps in and tries to help me and stuff like that too,
Right.
and it definitely does. So just a little bit of conversation with any of you guys, like I stow it away in the vault, and then I pull it out when it's applicable to use it.
And that's what I told him, and I was like, I know you think I'm hard headed, I'm not listening, but on Wednesday night when I'm out here and you're not talking to me, and you're not telling me, I'm thinking all this stuff. It's all playing through my head,
Yep.
Like we had that huge $1,000 Martinsville race last month, and I was off that night, like, and Martinsville's my best track, especially in super lates. Like, I can't tell you how many league races I won there. Like, anytime I see Martinsville on a super late model season, I'm like, oh, eyes get huge, And I mean, we had big competition, and the race was on Saturday, and Mark came in there with me on Friday night. It was me, Sam, and Mark, and my teammates. And I mean, I just listened to Mark, and Mark's like, "You're not listening to me, are you?" And then I went out there Saturday night and ran second, and got quite a bit of money from it, And so I wrote him. I was like, "Yeah, who wasn't listening? you dick.
That's the thing, like even during races, like, a lot of people probably just forget that I'm on the track, but I just listen to the way you guys talk to each other. I listen to what Aaron and Corey and Terry and them say to each other in practice. They might think that I'm just kind of zoned out, but I'm like, oh wait, what did he say about that turn? What is he doing over there? Oh, that's a new word that I've never heard before. And I
Right.
just kind of let it all sink in and just try to put it away into the memory vault.
That's one good thing about BPL. Like I'm sure, like you said, I'm still in that rookie season, so there might be rivalries in there that I haven't noticed yet. But there hasn't been one person I've spoke to that's been like Mark says, call him a penis. Like they have not been confrontational. Like you ask him a question or you say, "Hey, like I got into Brad Collins one day and I told him sorry." He's like, "Dude, we're racing." Like you're good. And whereas there's some leagues, if you get in somebody, man, you're gonna get your head chopped off, Like, and that's my favorite thing about BPL is, like you said earlier, it's the community part. It's everybody's buddies. I know me and Five Kings, we kind of stick to ourselves because I'm not the type of person, I can't just go out and meet new people, So like I raced with y'all for a year now before I even really spoke to y'all. I talked to y'all on track, stuff like that, but I really spoke to Corey and Amanda the night of the fun run. That was the first time I ever really been in a Discord
Yeah,
chat.
that was only like 2 weeks ago.
right, and spoke with y'all, And Aaron came in that night. I think he had to go to work or whatever, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
one great thing you can do to get her involved in it, you can do the thing like I did for Amanda. I'm like, give me 3 months, I'll buy your subscription, I'll buy your cars, your tracks for you. Just try it out. Get in the officials, start with the street stock and the rookie, and just see how you like it. And I think within a day, she was hooked.
and
Well,
see,
so like the other thing with just VR in general, like I've loved VR before that. Like he kind of makes fun of me because there's certain games like in our garage, he's got all these wires running around so we can stand in the middle of the garage and play VR. I play the Rick and Morty game. Like there's a haunted house game. Like I love Rick and Morty. There's a haunted house game. I actually would sit in the rig and do the roller coaster ride VR game. So I'm like, okay, I don't mind sitting in the rig, all that kind of stuff. So why not? If it's gonna get him off my back, I'm gonna try it. He's gonna see that I suck. I don't have to deal with this anymore, and then he'll leave me alone.
you sound
And
like
then
Emily right there.
yeah,
I mean,
and then
that's how she is.
as soon as I got in, I was like, this is kind of fun. I'm got a lot to learn, but it's definitely kind of fun and it keeps me out of trouble and it gives me something to keep motivating me to learn because not that I don't try to learn other things, but I've learned enough for other stuff in my life that I don't care anymore. This is something I want to learn and I'd say get her to do it. I want to ride around with her for a little bit.
So you sound like you are a gamer of sorts, like you play games, and
Well, like I said,
we play Lego.
games that I like are stupid. Like I love Tropico. Like I could sit here, like we've got our computers. I've got 2 monitors. He's got like 5 over there, and we sit out here in the garage. And I'm like, you want to play Tropico for 8 hours? And he's like, yeah. And then we'll just sit out here and drink and eat and like just play Tropico, the what stupid island paradise game. Then I'm like, you want to go play like the Legos Lord of the Rings for 5 hours in the basement? I like stuff like that. I don't like games that give me high anxiety. So that's why like I don't like tracks like Gateway because they give me high anxiety.
right.
So I gotta learn through it.
She's addicted to Call of Duty right now. Just and not even the new Call of Duty. It's the Call of Duty Modern Warfare, like Warzone and stuff like that. Like she is. I guarantee if I was I'd have to text her because I can't yell because the boys are asleep. But I guarantee if I said, "What are you doing right now?" she'd say, "Playing COD." You want to play? That's
I started playing that stupid Red Dead Redemption game, and I swear to God, it was like 10 hours. I forgot to feed the dogs. I didn't let them out. Like we got a big screen TV in the basement. I'm just sitting there. He kept coming inside, going, "Are you still doing this?" I'm like, "Get out of here, get out of here." I'm like, "I'm riding my horse. Get the hell out. Leave me alone."
I got bored of Red Dead after it took me about 2 weeks though, but I was on it like crazy, like on it, and I was like, dude, I'm tired of riding this damn horse for an hour and a half to get to my destination, So
that's what I said. I'm like, what do you just ride a goddamn horse all day long? Like, where am I going?
And then you get addicted to it. You get addicted to it really fast.
I'm about to go rob this train real quick.
Right.
I think he came in one time. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I fucking shot somebody on accident. I'm running. Like, leave me alone. Let me get away from this guy."
That makes me want to play it now.
Yeah, I think she would like it. You got to make it a low pressure situation because that's why he'd been trying for over at least a year, and I'm like, no, because you're gonna drive me crazy. You're gonna make me feel stupid. Like, not that he does or anything, but I didn't want to be awful in front of him, who's really good. So,
Right.
like, I would say, like, leave me alone. Like when I was running officials, I sit my rigs over in the corner. He'd sit over here and do whatever he was doing. I'm like, let me just run my officials. I will learn from my own mistakes. I will gain my own experience. And then once I'm comfortable enough to go, okay, start teaching me shit. But until I say, give the green light, leave me alone and let me see if I actually like it and learn. And if I can learn the base of it, the foundation of it, you can start giving me the details and kind of fine tuning me after that.
Right. And I think that is the biggest thing keeping her from doing it is she don't want to be compared to me on here, because she knows I do this every single day. And I'm not great at it, but I'm good enough to hold my own, and she wouldn't be when she started out. Like she would struggle, but who didn't? I'm sure Aaron struggled. I'm sure Corey struggled. I'm sure Chris struggled. I didn't struggle because I'm a guy.
Nah, I was actually a natural. You know, I
Hendrick's
could
been
have gone
calling him
pro 4 times
nonstop.
over, but I decided not to.
Hendrick was blowing you up, wasn't he? But he just didn't say
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Good. I understand. I
The
get
You
it.
should
other
see the
thing you
contract
can
I gave up.
Right.
The other
You
thing
couldn't
you
keep
can
doing it.
mention too was I was always getting on Corey's case, like, I want to hang out, I want to do something, and I'm like, what do you want to do? I don't know. I guess we'll just watch TV because we didn't have anything to do.
Right.
And
Right.
he's like, well, and we were talking about our hot tub earlier. We were sitting in there one night having cocktails. He's like, if you try it and you end up liking this is something we can do together. Because
Right.
I'd sit out here, I'd watch his streams, I'd watch the broadcasts and stuff last season. I would laugh and everything and kind of learn some of your guys' names and stuff, but I didn't really pay attention. So I'm like, you know what? God damn it. I actually do want to hang out and have another hobby together. So I'm going to try it. And now I'm like, you want to go practice or something? He's like, we've got to do this. We've got to do that. Like, where
Well,
I'm
Jack,
trying
here's
to
the
jump
deal.
in
I'm the best
sometimes.
Right.
there
And
is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake
that's
up in
the
the
other
morning, I
thing is
piss
we
excellent.
spend so much more fun, silly times together right now just doing this that it's added to what we were doing before. So that might help kind of ease her into it.
Did
Another
y'all?
fun thing for you to do when she starts it is stream her races and spot for her. I did that for Amanda. I had more fun doing that than actual racing it a lot of times. Just, you're watching the rookie street stocks. You're like, oh shit, they're crashing in front of you. Okay, stay high, stay high.
Right.
Cussing out the ladies of iRacing when they would rear end me during caution laps. He's like, that's not what you just said on the stream. I'm like, well, I'm not going to say it over radio chat.
Right. So you did race with the ladies I racing.
Only a couple. I did the first 3 races, but then they dissolved the first league because the admins wanted to kick out the better racers, and then some of the other racers were complaining it wasn't fair that there were boyfriends and husbands and even girlfriends and stuff helping some of the other drivers. And it's like, well, then find somebody to help you. Like I was in a practice by myself one time, and I remember the girl's name was Maria. She was really sweet. She jumped in. I think we were getting ready to go to Talladega, and she said, hey, I'm not going to race tonight. Just kind of go around me. So why aren't you going to race tonight? She's like, I don't know how to draft. I go, well, come on. And for 30 minutes, I helped teach her how to draft because that was like one of the only things I knew how to do, really, to the extent of how I know how to do it. And she
Right.
still didn't show up for the race because she was too scared. It's like, please, we spent more time on caution laps than we did in green flag laps. So just get it and race it. But it definitely helped having them stream too, because then we would watch the stream again, and again, Mark would be putting comments and a lot of joking and stuff, but he would comment to Corey after, I saw this that Amanda was doing, I saw that. So even if it wasn't him approaching me with it, I was still getting tips, and then she'll start to see like they're gonna want to help because who wouldn't want to have 2 girls in a league?
You were literally the first girl that I've been on iRacing for over a year now, and I've never seen another girl on here ever. That's
I
why
saw some in the officials, like 1 or 2, but I don't think
I
I
never
ever
have.
really acknowledged them.
I never have. And even I'm such an idiot that even when I saw Amanda Sherman, and I never even put 2 and 2 together. There was Corey Sherman, and then somebody made a joke. I think they made a joke to Taylor, and I was like, "Oh, that's Corey's old lady." Okay,
It's probably Chris.
Somebody even tried to call me out during one of the officials too. I think it was a Charlotte race. I think that was one of the ones I got pole, and I think it was the one that I actually won.
I think you
during
got
the
pole,
officials.
like you did 3 of them right in a row, and you got the pole like 3 times in a row there.
Yeah, but he's like, oh, I bet that's her husband in there, and I had to jump in. I'm like, I'm not a dude. I might have a
Yeah,
deep voice, but I'm not a dude.
yeah. Screw you, okay?
Yeah, don't have to be a guy.
That was when iRacing was the most fun. Like everybody hates the rookie street stock series stuff like that, but man, like that's when I was on iRacing so much. Like I got so addicted to it so fast. And I remember my first ever iRacing win on USA International, and I've been hooked ever since.
That's really what pushed me over the edge. Like I was really starting to enjoy it, but then
Right.
when Aaron, it was in Charlotte. I jumped on the Charlotte one. I think I got like third or fourth the first one I did, and then I got pole 3 races in a row. I think I got second, first, and third in those races. I'm like, okay, that just sealed the deal. I actually beat out grown men all over wherever the hell they're
Right.
from, and
Right.
they're like talking about it afterwards, like, holy shit, we just got beat by a girl. I'm like, all right, that just sealed the deal.
That's awesome.
Get her in it, make her do it.
That's
Definitely.
awesome.
So, Chris, you getting excited for the All-Star race coming up?
So yeah, I mean that happens to be one of my favorite races.
I know. Are you gonna? Can I be an in-race reporter and we go beer for beer? You gotta keep count though. I'll be driving.
I can do it. You know, that's the one race I truly, I will let it go completely. I always try and be professional, except for that one. Last night I was picking on poor Ian a little bit, but he was having a good time with it. Did you guys see those smiles when I was picking?
Oh yeah,
Dan,
when he's listening to the broadcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course his dad was right there, probably picking on him even worse than I was. So pretty good stuff though. I enjoy it, but yeah, you wanna go. I'll just have you up in the booth all night.
Just hit me up in the booth.
You realize, like, so the shop talk you came on and you threw the clip up there and you said, Corey, commentate this, like how much of a train wreck that was.
Yeah, I remember. Actually, now that you say that, it's probably not the best idea.
Well, hopefully I'll be driving in it. I was gonna go beer for beer while I was racing.
Well, that's
I
all
heard
right.
you did that now.
No, that's my rocket fuel, Aaron.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's I only drink that out of my Yeti cup.
So, any thoughts or wish list as to where the All-Star race is going to be?
Gateway.
I won't make it in, but I prefer Talladega or Charlotte.
No,
or
they won't do a
Sonoma.
super speedway.
Sonoma.
What did we do last year? North Wilkesboro?
Yep.
Last year I thought it was Charlotte.
No, it's, North Wilkesboro was the.
I think
All-Star
Charlotte
race.
was the year before.
I came in it was like 3 weeks after the All-Star race, and I think it was Wilkesboro. I remember saying something about it.
Yeah, because a lot of people were pissed because they had to buy the track because I think the track just came out.
Yes.
It was fairly new at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be. It's probably gonna be a road course.
I hope not.
I'm not gonna do it if it's a road course.
I'd really go like Bristol Dirt or something like that before I go to the road course. I don't even like Bristol Dirt.
Yeah, Bristol Dirt and the Xfinity cars.
That'd be interesting.
What's your favorite track, Tanner?
Uh,
Did you say Martinsville?
I do the best at Martinsville, but I think my favorite track is like if I'm gonna host a race, it's gonna be something like Iowa, Richmond, something like that. A lot of people don't like Richmond.
Yeah, Amanda doesn't.
What?
Said Amanda doesn't. We did that. What did we do? A fun race there?
I think I was yelling out, "This is torture. I don't want to do this anymore." Like it's those tracks that are like, "Fuck this. I don't like this anymore."
So Richmond's one of them tracks, and Iowa is too. They're hard to pass at, but like you can. Everybody thinks at Richmond you gotta just hug the yellow line. Well, you don't have to. Like you can go up half a groove and just kind of diamond the corner off, like what you do at Martinsville. You know. So I like Richmond, Martinsville, and Iowa. But if I had to pick a favorite, it'd be Iowa for sure.
They're crazy.
I like Iowa. It's a good track.
I just love short tracks. You know, that's what. That's my favorite. I come over here to the 1.5 mile tracks, and I'm still learning, and I'm learning everything about it. You know, like pitch strategy, what you got to do, and stuff like that. And it was really hard when I was solo. But now that I have teammates, they kind of talk me off the cliff, talk me off the edges, and when I want to do dumb stuff, you know.
Yeah, that's the fun thing with Blazing Pedals is, you know, we got the 50% fuel and only 3 tires, so you got to figure out fuel strategy and tire strategy all in one race.
I'm hating the fuel mileage right now, though. The last few races that we've had fuel mile races, I have shot myself in the foot. So like this next time, I'm not pitting until I see the whole field pit. I'm good last person in the pit, you know, because I'm
just pit when Dalton pits.
right.
But you got to be able to make it that far. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's gonna save that fuel to get there, you know, and I can't do that.
See,
That's pretty much what I do. I just watch to see when they're pitting.
Tanner had said something earlier about like the tire strategy. Now he's like, I'm just going to pit when everybody else does. It's easy to say that now when we're not racing.
Right.
When they throw that green flag, all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm going back to my strategy that I had.
We
like
go
you
in.
said, when you want tires, you're like, well, shit, I plan on not getting tires, but I need tires, so I'm getting
Right.
them.
I mean, we went in last night saying we're not taking tires at the end of stage 1. Joshua did a long run, and I think he got down to like 67, or it was 70% after like 60, 75 laps. So it still wasn't that good compared to what yours was, Corey, like 54 or whatever. But we went into last night saying we're not taking tires after the end of stage 1. And there was like 5 laps left of the stage. And Christian said, are we still not taking tires? I said, I'm taking tires. I don't care what y'all do. This guy right here, I'm taking tires. I'm not going to lap down to Jamie and them. I'm taking tires. And I shouldn't have.
Well, we're basically the way we run. We all have our own strategies. We all figure it out. I mean, like, we might ask somebody, or like if it's
Right.
obviously a super speedway, you know, we'll kind of coordinate together. But we basically run our own races, and if somebody has questions, and or like, are you gonna take tires? Yeah, I'm gonna take tires. No, I'm not gonna. Then we just base them off that. It's not like our whole team runs the same strategy.
You see, we don't either, except like we kind of do, I guess. We go with the same tire strategy, but the one time that we actually linked up and did like actually linked up on the track, linked up the tire strategy was Talladega, and it sticks out in my mind when we went 3 wide. And I mean, Christian just gave me a hellacious shove, and we swallowed up the Rutherfords in the middle, you know, because we were just following them. And I think Chris hollered out, and the third line is finally forming, and then like not even 30 seconds later, he said, well, the third line went to the second line because the second line just evaporated because my whole team went with me. And it was funny because they were telling me, don't go, don't do it yet, don't do it yet, don't do it yet. And I said, all right, I'm going. And here they followed me, you know, and that was awesome because we all got up front and I went down and I was like, all right, I'm going to let Christian be on the outside lane leading. I'm going to be on the inside lane leading. We're controlling this race. And that lasted for 2 laps. And before we knew it, somebody else then went 3 wide and we were swallowed up. And I was like, oh, yeah, we're not controlling this race. Like that's how quick it changes in here. But if we was to do it in an official race, I mean, me and Chris we could have led the whole race, you know, like that. Just maintaining the draft and blocking them. Don't let that third lane form, you know. But in BPL, if you try to throw that block, you're gonna get ran over because they got somebody shoving them, and they know when to go and stuff like that. But that was my funnest BPL race was Talladega. I know Amanda finished 3rd. I thought we had a chance for a good top 5, all 3 of us, but I mean, we didn't play the pit call right, and it came back to bite us.
Yeah, we had a pretty good team camaraderie going on at Talladega, and we had the boys Dalton, Cody, and Blake running with us, and
Right.
that was the first time I had more than just our guys, my guys in my headset, and
Right.
it was a little overwhelming at first, like holy shit, we've got these other people in here with their styles, and they like to do things their way, but seeing at Talladega and a track like that, working with more than just your teammates. And I've seen it on TV with NASCAR for so long, like, oh, the different, teams and cars are
Right.
joining up and doing what they got to do. But to have the entire race, we all stuck together and it really did bring me to another level of working outside the team and
Right.
seeing also how other people work too, because it's like, okay, this is how they chat and this is kind of how they run their team and how they do it. Like, this is pretty cool to have an idea. So next time if I lose them at a super speedway, okay, if I jump in with these boys, I know how they
Right.
structure themselves and how they follow each other. Like, again, like they probably thought I was just zoning out and riding behind them, but I was letting it all sink in. So next time, if I do get pulled away from them and I kind of team up with them or I find them on the track, again, learning other people's styles could actually help me out.
We got lucky because I mean it was never really talked about, except it was between me and another guy. But at Talladega, I mean I'm sure y'all noticed Michael Falk, he sponsors 30 cars out there. It seems like, and
He's got to
we
get
had
out there and race.
Right. We had basically an alliance with everybody at MF, and at one time, I mean, we had 10 people in a line at Talladega, and we all knew that if somebody steps out, we're going too, and that's what happened whenever I went 3 wide. There were 7 of us, and everybody stepped out with me. And before you knew it, that inside line went from being pretty organized to it was just the Rutherfords in. And I felt bad for Joshua and Corey, I think his name is. I felt bad. I was like, man, we just let them out to dry, but you got to go at some point. You, like I said, we're not interstate driving. We're racing at the end of the day.
Well, like we were so far back, I think you said at one point we had even dropped down to close to like 100 miles an hour, but we were so far off the lead pack and just sticking together and sticking with
Right.
the plan and just keep trucking along. We kept the fuel mileage strategy. We kept everything in line and everybody kind of speed up at the same time and we caught back up and you could see how we finished out.
Right. You finished
Until
third.
Aaron convinced me to pop out.
Should have followed the plan.
I think our text really at the start when we were talking about it earlier in the day was, if you're around in stage 3, I'll work with you.
Yeah, that's basically what I said. You're like, what's the plan? I'm like, well, if you're around stage 3, we'll figure it out.
We had it down to no, this was just between us 3, me, myself, Christian, and Josh, that if I'm pushing Christian and Josh is behind me, I mean, they knew like I'm not stepping out. I mean, I'll finish. If I finish second, I'll finish second. If I finish fourth because the outside lane's going, I'll finish fourth. But that's what we always say: a team wins better than any solo win. And like I've said it for a long time to the guys, but now it's cool when you hear them say it. Like when we do our super late model races, and we're leading 1-2, and the guy on the outside says, "Such and such leader, I'm not even racing you. I'll fall in behind you," and you hear him say a team wins better than a solo win. And I hear that, I'm like, yeah, that's right, boys. Yeah, good job.
Well, I
So
was super excited at Talladega because we were
bet.
on the outside line and Aaron was in front of me. And, like, you know, normally I would assume any other driver, teammate or not teammate, would be like, I wonder if I can get in front of him or not. But I was super excited just to be behind Aaron and thinking, don't fuck up. Don't spin him. Don't mess up who's
Right.
behind you. I forget who was behind me. I think it might have been Paulson, but I don't remember. But I was excited to be behind him and go. I kept thinking, how can I push Aaron further that he can get in front of that inside line? And it was just awesome to go, holy shit, I'm actually possibly helping Aaron right now.
I see. I suck at super speedway races because I don't want to bump draft. I don't want to be that guy that maybe hits flush the whole race and then messes up one time and shoots that guy off. So I never like pushing. That's why whenever I got in front of Christian and we went to the front, it was perfect because I didn't have to push. And he did. He said, "I'm going to hit you," and I was like, "Well, just hit me flush and we'll be good." And it was
That's
scary
the
though.
perfect part of teammates. So these two, like Terry, not so much because he's kind of hit or miss when he's around with practice with me. But Aaron and Corey were the ones who taught me how to draft and bump draft and the lead. I'd rather be leading than
Right.
having to follow behind them. But they know, like, even at my worst bump, what to expect from me. So
Right.
I'm pretty sure they know, like, okay, even if she's off her game, this is what she's gonna give me.
So Christian actually told me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, see, I love pushing. Like when me and Aaron get on super speedways, he holds the perfect line. We've worked together so great, and he just holds that line, and I just beat the shit out of his bumper.
I just don't know how you keep up with him because he is so fast.
Well,
That's right.
he's even faster now. He got a new wheel. He said he wants to be as fast as a 3.
and I'll take out the whole field at a super speedway.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
doesn't give a
care.
shit.
I'm not near aggressive enough on a super speedway. Like, And that's why that 3-wide move sticks out to me so much, because I'm not aggressive. Normally I'll just ride, and finish where I finish, and that's why I don't think I've won a super speedway race, official league race or not.
It's so funny to hear somebody like, I look at you as like a higher caliber guy because like I always see you running so well like when I'm running around, but like that's the only place I know to feel confident and aggressive. Like I don't know, I don't try to be aggressive in any means in any of the races with you guys, but that's the only place I feel aggressive where I don't slow down, I don't let off the gas, I go full bore, and I'm excited to do it. Where, races like last night, I'm just like, you fucking go around me. Come on, everybody hurry up and pass me. So, but it's weird to hear any of you guys say that because I feel like you guys should have that confidence all the
It's
time
just
because you're good.
super speedway is just basically rolling the dice, because if somebody makes a mistake and they're up near the front, it's carnage. That one driver that made that mistake is collecting at least 5 to 6 cars, usually, and I no matter what strategy I've done the start in the back and just ride around away from the pack, and then the big one never happens. Or I've been up in the hornet's
Don't even
nest and
expect it. Just Russian roulette it. And that's the only way that I've figured out to do the super speedways from coming out of officials recently is like,
right.
screw it. I'm just going to go as fast as I can and just avoid anything that these dipshits have to offer. And that's the only thing that I can control is to learn how to swerve around it.
The week of Daytona officials